There's over 6,500 languages in the world today. I found a way to reach people who speak each and every one of them. I use the language of art, and through that language, I plant the seeds of change in people. Now, the video you just saw was shot in Southeast Asia's largest slum, Klong Toi, in Thailand. Now, when I decided that I wanted to live there, I went to a local carpenter who builds the other homes in the slums, and I told him, hey, build me a home. He works directly on the train tracks and started to build my home and would only stop to take off the work when a train would pass, and as soon as the train was passed, put it back and go right back to work. When I got there, I had to meet with the local mafia, the local police, and pay them off. And afterwards, I went on living 30 days in the autonomous society. My intention was to bring about a conversation of social change in a world where 1/3 of the urbanized population lives in slums. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. It's a story about Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is the epicenter of technology and home to more self-made millionaires than nearly anywhere in the world. It's home to Google, Intel, Microsoft, Hewlett-Packard, Apple. But this story, it's not about them. This story is about the lost hopes and dreams of everyday Americans. It's about the over 600,000 Americans living on the streets today. It's about third world America, the failure of the American dream. So when I went there, I went to the jungle, which is the name of the largest homeless encampment in the entire United States. And it happens to be in the heart of Silicon Valley. I went there with nothing but my camera, and I met a man named Indio. Indio was the Lakota Native American and gang member who had been living in the slums for a number of years. And he told me that this American slum, this tent city, the jungle, had over 1,200 inhabitants living in the jungle and its surrounding tent cities. And he was in charge of looking after each and every one of them. After I shot the video, I took it and I showed it in an art context in London, in an art gallery, with the intention of bringing this to light and bringing people's attention to what is going on in their own backyard. I tried to show people that, hey, you don't have to be afraid. I tried to show people that in the eyes of these people, there is humanity. I tried to show people that wealth is not defined by money. And just because you live in poverty, it doesn't mean you're poor. So when I showed it as a video installation. And along with the installation, I showed the tent itself with all of its contents. And I wanted to give something tangible that people could not only see, but feel and touch and smell and understand the way these people live and what they live in every single day. And when you look at these two works, when you look at these two projects that I did, you see that there's a through line, there's something in common. And that's that I take myself and my experiences and I show them to bring about conversations. Through all of this, I took pictures. I went to Klong Toi. I lived in a slum house. I took pictures. I went to the jungle. I lived in a tent. I took pictures. I went to Karen State in Burma, home to the longest ongoing civil war in the world. I stayed with the rebels. I taught English to children. I crossed the border without permission with the refugees. I took pictures. I went to the Sahara Desert in Morocco and stayed with the Berber nomads. I crossed the border illegally into Algeria to trade for oil. I took pictures. Now, through all of this, my intention was to bring about some semblance of understanding. And to understand it, I first had to experience it myself. You have to experience things firsthand. Not only see them, but feel them, understand them, or at least get some semblance of understanding for what these people in our own backyard live in every single day. You have to erase what you've learned from the media, from the books, from the scholars, from the speakers. You have to find your own understanding. You have to create your own understanding. And through that understanding comes compassion. And through compassion comes the passion for change. Now, for my next project, I'm working with the International Labor Organization, the ILO. I'm working with the UN. I'm working with World Vision, with Public Delivery. And when they approached me, they asked that I use the knowledge that I had learned teaching photography at Dear Burma, a school for Burmese migrants living and working in Thailand, and the interpersonal relationships I'd built with Indio or the nomads. And they asked that I take that and I use the language of art to bring about awareness to the issues that migrants face every day coming and living in Thailand. Afterwards, we'll show it in Thailand's largest museum. Now, my intention is only to bring about conversation and to start conversation and start the conversation of change. And to do that, we have to help one another. We have to help each other, and we have to help Indio. The way Indio helps his people, the way his people in Indio help me. And to do that, we don't need to live 30 days in a tent city or a jungle or a slum or any of this. We need to simply take 30 seconds out of our day to speak to someone that we wouldn't normally speak to and try to understand them. And through that understanding, we can start the conversation of change.